everybody. Hope you had an awesome week. It's been pretty eventful over here on this side of the tree. Got the green lights on tonight. I guess you guys can figure out why, right? Exactamundo. Everything came running right back up after that quick, snappy little correction that we had. We'll go over that. We'll go over what the thumbnail talked about. What did the thumbnail mean? Well, thumbnail's kind of talking about what happens when people get all in an uproar. Got the answer for that before we even start with it. Don't want to hear the conjecture. We can go straight to the chart with this. And look at also, take some XRP in, do a little Ethereum, look at total market cap, see what we can figure out on the map. Sound good? I think it sounds awesome. Let's get into it. If you have not done so, please go hit like. It's free. It costs nothing. The more likes we get, the more YouTube pushes this around to everybody. I've got you guys on the pop-out chat. This should work. Let me go change your rooski right here on it real quick. Like that. And there we go. There you guys are on the YouTube chat, floating around in midair right there. Let me move that over some. Maybe put that down there on the bottom. That looks a little better, doesn't it? I think that looks a little better. And then obviously we can scroll up here to the tippy top and say hey to everybody. We'll do that in a minute though. We haven't got a chance to dig into the charts. Charts first, folks. I think that'll stay up too, right? I just got to click the little button over there. Yeah, we'll do that in a moment. So, all right. First things first. Again, we already hit like. I appreciate everyone coming and hanging out with us. Dogecoins. This is something I specifically avoided last time. All right. You know, I got frustrated with all the stupidity, really, what it comes down to. We had a very small Telegram group back then in the day. And I got irritated with all the hype and uproar over what one person or two people might happen to be putting on Twitter or what is now called X. I didn't care. What we figured out along the way was, well, that particular person kind of started those typical things at a very, very pointed time, which happened to be when an uptrend started, and things all went from there. All right. No one talks about that. But that's kind of what happened. We even went so far as to chart out every single Elon tweet that he sent out regarding Dogecoin. Put that over in the Telegram, chart them out one by one by one by one. Nobody liked that, right? That didn't go over very well. Why? Because we found that the correlation wasn't exactly what everyone thought it was. It was actually much different. You know, it tended to not follow him more than it followed him. But no one wanted to hear that. That was a conversation for a different day. All the hoopla eventually went away. And when it went away, you didn't hear much about it again until last week at the end of the week or the beginning of the week. Why? Well, because you see what happens right here, right? Let's talk about this for a moment. So you see my byline. By the way, we have a new header on top of the YouTube stream. I hope you guys enjoy it. I always love it when people try to poke the bull. I'm going to make a separate video. I haven't done it yet, but I want you guys to have a little inside look at what I deal with in the background constantly. It's not a moaning or whining session. I just want you to be aware of why I don't always get back to every message or etc. The header up here, or I guess right beside me right here, is a good pointed reason to explain why I don't always get back on DMs, right? But I'm going to keep that up there for the duration of the bull market. I always love it when someone who doesn't know what they're doing starts talking crap to me, like I don't know what I'm doing, when those same people were asking me for advice just a couple days before that or a couple weeks before that. So nonetheless, you see my byline here. I bought this back in September. Why did I buy this back in September? Because she was sitting on a long-term support that went all the way back to 2021. This green box that I drew here doesn't have the words on it now, but as I zoom in, you'll see I wrote support zone in that box. During the buying process here, I talked about this and I said, well, I'm going to buy this and I'll reserve another $500 for it. I bought $500 here, which at the time was, what percent of it was that? I forget what percent it was. Anyway, it was a low percent, like less than 1% of my money went into this. That was my thought process. I'll put 1% into this and that's just going to have to be good enough. I'm not going to do any more money than that. 1% is going to have to be it. If you can't handle 1%, then you're overdoing it, overthinking it, and stressing out for nothing. So I specifically didn't do that. What I did was bought that, and I said, if I'm going to fail, I'm going to buy one more time. I'll add one more DCA to it for an even 1,000. That'll be over 1%. I'll be like 1.5% or something like that. And that'll be it. And that was just in case it came down to a lower support level down here around 0.04 and a half. And it never did that really. This wick was not on all exchanges. It was only on the index. It wasn't on every exchange. So I don't think that wick was real. It looks to me like this thing held support pretty well. So I went ahead and bought this. As it started to break north, I said, well, hey, great. We kind of expected this. And now that it's broken north, I'm in a good spot where I could just kind of leave this alone, sit on my hands and not do anything, right? The uptrend started. Where did the uptrend start? Well, it started right here. I'll put that line in green. And I'll get to what the other lines are on the screen in just a moment, but I wanted you to see this first, all right? So, clear uptrend. We had a little bit of a retrace. What kind of retrace did we have? We had a beautiful retrace because that was a low and a high and a higher low, which is the creation of an uptrend, everyone. And now what do we got, folks? We got a higher high. Whatever for this, for me, for Dogecoin, I can just sit back and do nothing. Furthermore, when I saw this thing make a outrageous move, it started moving very rapidly, 100, 200, 300%. When I saw that, and I happened to be at the computer, I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and get my initial out. That's my initial $500 right there. I sold and got my initial money back. For what's in here now, this is house money. I don't have to buy. I don't have to sell. I can just put this in cruise control to the end of the bull market, which I think will be in October of 2025. How do I know that? Well, let's go through what I've got drawn out here. What you're about to see is the entire fractal for Doge. And you guys know how I feel about fractals. I don't like to put out stuff that I don't believe is the truth. All right. So if I don't have evidence and empirical data to show me that this stuff is real and actually happening, well, then I ain't going to talk about it. All right. First, let me see what's up with you guys. Say, hey, Paulo, what's up? John P, BTC Turk, Jag, what's up, my guy? Educated Dummy, Mago, BTC Turk, Distinctive Shine, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Golden Tall Man, sober stream for me tonight. All right, bro, I got to have a drink and celebrate here in a minute. Cryptos 11, he said it's Keith there, and I said that sounds awful. Guillermo, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Frumpo, Colo, Burner, what's up, Nick? Good to see you. Tell the boys at the shop I said, hey, it's Friday yet? Jeremy Monroe said, well, we got a couple more minutes and it will be. The Red Stuff, what a name, dude. Let's go. Ariana, how are you, ma'am? Kelly Slade, what's up? How are you? Well, at least I'm up, she said, right? Paulo, Tario, charts don't lie. Good to see you, brother. XR McPhee, I remember you. Hardy Boys, what's up, brother? Green lights, more candles. You got it. O'Leary, Ariana, good to see you. Thank you for fixing later. Something is making crackles that you didn't have before. I have no idea, dude. It's weird. I don't know where the crackles are coming from. What's up, Jay Nick? Good to see you in Berserkly, bro. It's finally stopped raining just as I finished the arc. Yeah, welcome to the South where it rains every day in the summer. Philip Stewart, Thurman's back. Good to see you, Therm the Worm. Good to see you, bro. Andrew Ionescu, Mago, Cycling Cotton, Terry Brennan. So, Marpola, good to see you. All right, so here's the entire Doge fractal. I'm going to go all the way back to the very beginning, all right? Bear with me. I'm sorry. But we got to do this because it's necessary. Here is the top of the 2014 cycle by time, not by candles or percentages, all right? I want you to see this. This is the Doge chart by time, not by candles or percentages. I'm just looking at the amount of time that Doge followed Bitcoin during halvings, bear markets, and bull markets. All right. It's as simple as that. The blue marks the top for the market. All right. Then we had our halving come up in 2016. I marked the date of halving. As you see before that, we held support, just like we recently held support. We broke north just before halving. You see that? Some green candles just before halving. I'll zoom in for you because I can see it. Green candles just before halving, right? After that, we kind of rolled back and went flat back to support. And right through here would be our upper level support. Do you see that? Right? We draw a box here for that so you can kind of see it a little bit more cleanly. We'll make that one, what do you want to do? Purple? That seems like a fun color. Whatever. Purple. That purple box held all the way through the next couple lines. This was our quote unquote bottom. And I say that because it was about about 75 days after halving. That was the last chance to quote unquote buy low, right? Then, or not the last chance, but that was near the bottom for Doge. The white line was the quote unquote last chance to get in low. That was your last retrace before things really started popping. Shortly after the white line, we moved up. This purple line is halfway from halving to the end of the bull cycle. How do we know what the end of the bull cycle was? Well, we have the data to show us this. It was the top of 2017, at the end of 2017, right at the beginning of 2018 when the top came in, all right? And between those is this purple line. It's about halfway, all right? So you see about halfway, we started moving up pretty well. Between halfway and the end of the bull market, we finished our run. That was the entire 2016 to 2018 bull cycle, okay? Moving forward, the cycle we just had, same thing, big bear market, held support. Just before halving, we made a move up. Now, obviously, we had a certain virus pop up right through here that shut the world down. You could argue or could not argue that this did or did not have an impact, whatever. What I see is this thing just went back to support and held pretty firm, didn't it? All right. Would have had that move up had that thing not happened, in my opinion, but you could argue that it still did some kind of move up before halving, just kind of right on it instead of before it. Kind of went sideways. That was your bottom. All right. After that bottom shot up, white line was pretty much your last chance to buy in the low points. And as you see, this thing right here just came back and sat right on support again, just like it did back then. Again, we started our run up. As we started our run up, about halfway through, you see where that marks things. You could probably do another couple lines in here and mark it even closer if you like. Nonetheless, we topped out into the bull market. I mean, the end of the bull market for everything except maybe 2-3 coins was the October-November point in 2021 when Bitcoin said, I'm done, and that's the end of the market. That was the end of 2021, basically. All right. Fast forward. Here we are now currently. Here's our big bear market. Here's the end of the bull. Here's halving, same amount of time in between. Here's the move up, just like 2016 now, right? It looks like we're going to slow down on Doge and SHIB and all the other dog coins soon. Where do I see it coming back to? Well, back to support here at the worst. All right. Maybe we get a wick or two or maybe a little bit of a push down between then. But nonetheless, that's about all you're going to get down-wise is back to around 10 to 12 cents, in my opinion. All right. From there, we'll probably find our bottom around 75 days after halving. That's in the middle of June. From there, you have one last chance likely to get in before everything goes wild. That's September, moving into October. What do you think is going to happen in September or October? We have an election coming, don't we? Remember that. All right. I don't do politics, but there's an election coming. So keep your eyes open. Into the bull market. It'll probably have already peaked out by this point. Into the bull market, October 2025, because that's the same amount of days each time, each cycle, less or minus, plus or minus 1 week. All right. I know this seems crazy. I know you're going to look at this and you go, oh, he's full of crap. And I would agree. Don't listen to me. Go see it for yourself. Break it down piece by piece. You'll find that this is really, really, really close. All right. I'm not saying it's super perfect and super accurate. What I am saying is it's going to be closer than you think because we bought the bottom and we're prepared for this. Were you? All right. We did this in our Discord. We had all this lined out. I'd already bought this and prepared, told everyone I'm just going to sit on this position and I'm not going to move from it. Got my money out, got my profits out. Now we're Vegas free rolling. If you don't know what that's like, we'll be in Vegas again eventually, and you can come shoot craps with us or play roulette with us, and I'll show you how to free roll. All right? It's not that complicated. It's really fun. Sound good? Cool. We can stop recording that. Let me pop the text out real fast. And bloop. There we go. Pop the text out, and we'll drop off the like thing. Keep coming up over and over again. So a couple questions about that. I knew that was going to happen. So let's see. I don't hate it. Can you chart anything? So basically at any point between 25 to October 25 is a sale. No, I think there'll probably be a peak in there somewhere. All right. That higher peak will probably push us to a higher level, and that'll be the point we sell, but we'll tackle that when we get there. I'm just showing you that we've likely got a slowdown coming at some point here. Not saying it's going to be outlandish or ridiculous, but things can't run hot forever, and I think we all know that. Now, it's green behind me, so I'm expecting more up first, Bitcoin runs the show. We're going to do Bitcoin next. Thank you, Grace. Can we take a look at that? Yeah, we'll get that in a minute. I try not to look at too many altcoins and stuff on the streams on Thursday anymore. We usually save them for Tuesdays in the Discord. Real quick, let's look at SHIB. Now, it's a little different for SHIB because I don't have as much data and I can't do it the same way. But it moves very similar to Dogecoin, only a little bit more extreme, right? Can we agree? It moves a little bit more extreme. So you guys already know I bought down here in this green box. And if you didn't know, let me show you. Where is it at? Right there it is. There's my SHIB buy. Right down there. That's where I bought SHIB. Don't believe me? Well, I posted it in the Discord and I could show you the wallet if you really want me to with it in there, right? I don't really care. If you believe me or not, that's what's in there. And you can see I already sold my portion and got my initial money out. Once again, we are Vegas free rolling on this one. I ain't got to do nothing. I can just sit back, relax, kick my feet up, and watch it roll in. All right? Sound good? I think that sounds good. You already seen the last slide I popped up. That said 5X up here. Yeah. Look at that. We peaked out at 500% in no time. All right. Got my money back and I'm cool with it. I'll wait for the rest to see what happens. I'm going to leave this alone to the end of the bull market. It looks like SHIB is going to outperform Doge again. And if that's the case, cool. I don't think I'm going to put any more money in SHIB. I've already got my money out and I'm in the money now. So likely, again, this will move much more rapid than Dogecoin. It's way farther ahead now, Fibonacci retracement wise on the chart as far as XY axis goes. She's ahead now. Now, if that's the case, even more reason for me to leave it alone. Yeah, I know it went real fast, so we could probably catch a retrace. It's not that important to me to super overtrade this one. All right, if that makes sense. FLOKI looks almost identical to SHIB. I'm not going to pull it up, but you get the idea. All right, Bitcoin. We kissed all-time high, and one would argue that we broke it with that little tiny wick right there. I could hear the argument. I'm cool with it. I would, you know what? I would probably agree. I would probably agree that we broke all-time high. It didn't go crazy, but it broke it. So what do I see happening here? Well, this thing did a very dramatic retrace and immediately got soaked up. And before I get too far into that, thank you, educated dummy. Thank you, John. Give me a second. Let me grab my glass. We got to celebrate. And I have it right behind me. I on purpose left this on that little table so you guys would look at it. I had it on the desk and I was like, no. Let me move that back there at the table. All right. What are we celebrating? Well, Keith hit a level this week that I never thought I would hit this fast. So, I don't talk about my trades in public. I show every single trade I do over in the Discord. Yeah. You guys know that because some of you are over in the Discord and you see me do it. Ooh. By the way, 6-20 Carolina cream. This stuff slaps. I got it from the local store. He recommended it. It slaps. So I'm going to have me a little mixed drink. And I didn't ask you. I'm just going to do it. So again, I show you every trade. I started this back in, and by the way, we got Colonel E.H. Taylor small batch because I keep the good stuff, the expensive stuff, for when I really have something to celebrate. I also have some really old scotch over there and stuff, but I don't want to break that out right now. So I started this journey with $6,000 back in 2019. I moved that up to $45,000 by the spring of 2020, right? So I had turned 6,000 into 45,000 and I felt like a genius, dude. It was only a couple hours after that that it got wiped down to zero. And I learned a valuable lesson, right? I learned a valuable lesson about risk management and hedging my bets and being more careful, right? That was something that I had to learn that I didn't understand at first. It took a while of a punch in the face to get me right, okay? So what I did that day is after I'd already discussed the right thing to do and then didn't do it, I kind of promised myself I wouldn't do that anymore, right? I would be less degenerate, smarter with my money, think it out, come up with a better plan. And now we're here using that same plan, all right? So I started this way back in 2019 with $6,000. And it actually started with less than that. That's just what I ended up with was about 6,000. So that turned into nearly $500,000 at the end of the last bull market. Now, obviously, I had to spend some of that. I had to take care of some things in the real life, right? That's part of the ball game, all right? You want to make gains to spend them, not make gains to say you've got them. That's not how this works. I'm not having a pissing contest with you or anybody in the chat over there or anybody over here. It's not a competition between me and y'all. I don't care. You're likely going to beat me dollar-wise, okay? You're likely going to beat me dollar-wise. There's nothing I can do about that, all right? I never started with a lot. Everything I started with, $0 were given to me. Let me zoom in on that for a second. $0 were given to me. There's no family coming to help me. I am the help. I'm it. There's nobody else behind me. All right. So what are you going to do, Keith? What are you going to do? So put my money in. I hit $200,000 once again this recent last couple days. How did I do that? By looking at these charts right here, doing nothing degenerate, no leverage trades, just spot. I got that money back up to about 60,000, 65,000 before we started this. All right. I turned it into 75 before October. And then when October came, I took that 75 and I turned that into over 200. I think it's 215 now. I think it was 215 today. Now, chart's a little up and down right now, so it's probably going to float around there for a little bit. More so, the point is, don't tell me what you can't do. Did I go crazy and make 10x already? No. Was I hella conservative with what I did? Very, very much so. You can be really conservative with this and still make 200-300%. I literally just showed you how to do it. Every single time I come on these live streams and I talk to you guys, I'm being legitimately as honest and straight up as I can, all right? I know you don't buy that because I'm just some dude on the internet, but I don't know any other way to convincing you besides sitting down in front of you and doing the same thing. I show you my trades. I show you my KuCoin and my MEXC wallets and my MetaMask wallet. You guys are tracking it, right? I show you my Coinbase. I show you BitGet, BitTrube, all of them. Everything that I've got, I show them. Show you my ledger. I want to thank all of you for being around me, all right? Because I know sometimes I'm a little bit intolerable. I'm not stupid. I know that. I have my flaws. Nonetheless, all of you who come here are still here, right? 11:30 at night, and you're coming to hang out with me, which is, to my amazement, insane, all right? I had a goal when I started this year, this bull market. I want to make at least $1 million. I wanted to say, and I know $1 million is not even a lot of money, and I'm toasting, by the way. Thank you, John. Toast the camera. Ready? Ding. I shook the camera. Maybe you saw it. Oh, let's go. Oh, my goodness. That'll ruin you, dude. So I know I'm rambling and stuff, but we do a lot of charts on here, and I talk about things that some people don't like to talk about. And I say some things that other influencers simply won't say. And I don't really care if you like that or not, right? Thank you all for being here. I know that some of these plays I miss. I don't get every buy-in, and I don't get every sell in, all right? But what we do as a family is make gains and minimize losses. Yeah, you might be making more gains than me, but how many more losses have you took? Because I know how much money you've lost. And I'm specifically pointing to you influencers out there who really, really, really love to talk. I've met a couple of you in person, and you were totally different in person than you were on the computer. Now, why is that, right? Why do we got to be like that? Why can't we just be real all the time? Just be straight up, dude. Do you not understand that more people would hang around you if you were straight up than if you were fake? Drake has an amazing song called Fake Love, right? And it's obviously about a man and a woman, but you can apply that logic to anyone. I have nothing but real love for all of y'all. I want to see every single one of us win. Love me or hate me. Love me or hate me. I don't care. I made that goal of 1 million. I think I can get to 2.2 million. Now, I don't know for sure, but we're about to go over what I'm talking about and understand what I mean when I say that. I'll show you now, and I'll end this monologue by simply saying thank you all. I can't do it without you guys. It takes a team to do this, not just me. It takes a family to do this, not just me. All right. I'm only one guy. If we didn't have everybody doing this together, we would be way behind. All right. Not on Twitter, not on social media doing crypto stuff. It's just here in Discord. All right. So thank every single one of you. Let's get back to the charts. You've probably heard enough of me anyway. So JP, thank you, bro. Rob, thank you, dude. The good Rob. The good Rob, thank you. Thank you, Charts Can't Lie, XRF, thank you, bro. Terry Brennan, bro, we're going to have some beers when this is over, I promise you. Tex, what's up, my friend? I'm here, COVID, no, I don't want to hear that C-word nonsense. I didn't say that, by the way. You heard a different word than I just said. Sco, what's up, brother? Nova Star, what's up? Red Stuff, 4 a.m. Thank you, brother. Danny Deep Pockets, Eric Forney, thank you, dude. Grace, I love your taking us on Bun Solana earlier, and thank you for my mention. Listen, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Thurman. Who else said thank you that I missed? I think that's it. Now, let's quit being mushy and get into it. So, on the left, I am going to pull up. When I get to it here, give me a second. I'm going to pull up here the chart from 2016. And I'm going to pull up on the other side of this the chart for 2024. And I want you to look at a side-by-side here of how honestly close these are. And they're not perfect, but they're really close together, okay? So, on the left, here we go. All right. I don't like fractals again, folks. I'm only showing you this so that we're totally transparent, all right? On the left, 2016. On the right, 2024. Having 2016 marked on the left, having marked on the right. Swing low, swing high, marked on the left with Fibonacci retracement. Same thing on 2024, marked with Fibonacci retracement. I do not know for certain that we are at the high on our current chart, which is on the right. I do not know for certain that we are at our high. What I do know for certain is we made a heck of a run up in a very similar fashion that we did to 2016. Now, if you look at 2016, we had a very snappy retracement right at the top, and that's what we just had in 2016, didn't we? This is daily charts, by the way. Very, very snappy retrace that kind of came back to 236 and hit the pause button, all right? You see over here, it actually came down to 382 and all the way down to the 50 fib. We didn't do that this time. We just came down to the 236, all right? This is why I say they're not the same, but they have a similar look, all right? I don't expect these to do the identical thing. If it was identical, I drew that out in red right here to show you how far down it would go, right? It would go all the way down to 786. I don't think that happens, but we'll know more as we go along. I'm honestly more in the camp of this thing not really going below 55,000 for now at the minimum. We'll reassess once this plays out more, right? Because we still have quite a bit of time until halving, right? You can see how much closer this was to halving. That was actually only about 20 days, 21 days, or 22 days from halving. And you see here, we are still quite far over 40 days from halving, right? More so, the point is this pullback didn't last long even when it happened, all right? As you see, it came down and made a very, very quick jab, and it immediately gobbled that buy right back up. And what's happened over here? We came down and had a quick jab, and we immediately gobbled that buy right back up. No questions asked. It didn't even take long for it to happen, all right? And as you see, this is at a higher level than this was down here. See that? It's at a higher level. It's still above the 236, and over here, we were playing around underneath it, right? Now, moving averages. Here are the moving averages. That's 50, 100, 200. Yellow, blue, red. 50, 100, 200. As you see, we came down and basically gave the 50 MA a smooch. We are nowhere near that. So, in my opinion, it looks like Bitcoin's going to track sideways here for a little bit. The up seems to be wearing off. And what do I mean by wearing off? I mean, it's went so far, so fast, that just like a Jamaican sprinter, who are one of the fastest people in the world, some of the best athletes known to man, Jamaican sprinters, some of the best athletes in the history of the world, they take breaks. They have breathers. They stop and think about it. Guess what this chart hasn't done? It ain't even stopped and thought about it. It's still running, right? So there's no reason to panic and sell everything. That's the other side to this. It looks to me like any down that we get moving from here forward is just to buy opportunities. There are no runaway and hides here. It's all buy opportunities, all right? These retraces are all temporary. They're just small bumps in the road for more up. It's not like in a bear market where we're running away and waiting for that to stop. And for what it's worth, we may not have a similar bear market moving forward now that we have ETFs and we're traded more like a stock and commodity or an indice, right? So how much farther do I think we go down? I think we probably go back to 60,000 at some point and give it another test. If we break that, 55. Worst case Ontario for now is 50. That's 20-something%, right? From 70 to 50, isn't that? I can't count these high numbers. You guys know I'm an idiot. That's 25%. That's a hell of a retrace. So we'll see. You're getting a 25% rebate if that happens. Obviously, I'm in the market. I'm not afraid. I can duck and dive if I need to. The other thing is I said there is, it looks like we're slowing down. Look at the RSI from 2016. Look how high that was, and it just stayed overbought for an extended period of time. You see that? Same thing's happening here. Overbought for an extended period of time. I don't care what the chart is, it has to breathe. This thing really hasn't taken a breather. It's been running hot, and it's boiling over for the most part. Now that we're starting to slow down on this RSI a little bit, let's see if we continue trending up, or we slow down, hit the brakes, break a short-term trend here, and this RSI resets to around 50. At 50, when we get to the RSI of around 50, we'll reassess this and see where things go. All right. If we're bouncing moving averages, if we're holding support, etc., there might not be no more down from there. And I know that sounds crazy, but it is what it is. And you will see that over here in 2016, we went down and hit oversold just for a short period of time, right? It was a quick jab and oversold and it was done. It didn't last more than a couple days. If that happens over here, are you going to have time to do the same thing? Are you going to have time to bite on this and get it done? I doubt it. I doubt anyone will have that time. So for what it's worth, I don't really think it's such a good idea to try to swing trade this stuff like crazy. Unless you're doing it on a low time frame and that's your plan to begin with, it's probably best to use every retrace going forward here as an opportunity to buy. And you're going to run out of opportunities. All right. That's how I see it. You're just going to run out of opportunities. So back to our regular chart. If I go down to 4 hour, we tickled all-time high. We didn't break it. We tickled it and immediately pulled back. Got our big liquidity grab, wiped a bunch of longs right here, and now we're kind of setting along sideways on the floor. There's more liquidity to take here. And what I mean by taking liquidity is when you come down here and you sweep these previous highs that turned into higher highs, there was a lot of leverage longs took right here. All right. That means they were borrowing on futures exchanges or making leverage trades and creating interest in order to do so, right? Paying interest payments in order to do so. We call that open interest. All right. That open interest is very heavy down here at this green box. Worst case scenario, in my opinion, is we run through these candles and it does a little dance like this and finally takes one jab and gets down here and crosses this green box, nukes all the longs right before we start the bull market, kind of give everything a bit of a reset, a bit of a, all right, let's reassess. Because really, in my opinion, that's all we're lacking right now in the entire market is the chance to go, all right, that was fun, now what? That hasn't happened. It's just been all up, which makes the degenerates look really, really, really smart. For what it's worth, I know better. I know better. You guys are just throwing money around and getting lucky, and it feels good right now, but you can't walk in there with this kind of luck and think you're just going to rule the roost. All right? Don't think that's going to happen. Now, show you some more stuff here that we talked about over in the Discord already, so they got the early drop on this. All right? Everything happens in our Discord first. Where have you guys been? This Discord closes. Our Discord closes in just about a month. WAP.com/team786. If you ain't in then, you ain't getting in. All right? Doors close. Any of you who leave will not be able to come back. Sorry. So if you're in, you're good. If you're out, you can come hang out on live streams, but that's all we got for you. All right? We're going to close our Discord and keep our family small. We want it that way on purpose. we found out that while we have people in our Discord that are smart, we're better as a team. We don't want any degenerates. We don't want any know-it-alls. We just want people who are open to trading, open to learning, and open to charts. Fair enough. You can be a hodler and come in, right? You're going to learn that holding works during a bull market. Holding don't work when it's time to sell. WAP.com/team786. Back to the charts. So there's a case to be made that we blow the top off this time. Why do I say that? Well, last cycle we didn't do that. And I'll go through that now with you, all right? I'm going to pull up this entire Bitcoin index. Bear with me. You're about to see a lot of colors. I'm sorry. But you want a map? You got it, all right? Whoops, didn't mean to draw that. Maybe I did and I just wanted you to look. So, all the way back, let's take a trip down memory lane here. All the way back to the very first bear market. That was all the way back in 2011 where it started. All right, after 2011, you had a big retrace. We know we have 4-year cycles. Essentially, we're going from top to halving, top to halving, top to halving over and over and over again. Here's our top. Here's our bottom. Draw it out. What do we got? Roughly a 2.272 blow off top for the whole market. Cool? We can not all agree that that's a 2.272 identical perfect cycle that we're about to have again on the next one. Next bear market kicks in. This is where I started hearing about Bitcoin, but I never did anything. So from 2013 to the bottom, all the way over again to our red line where the top is. All right. Click it there and lock it in. What did we do? A 2.72 retrace. Interesting. Next bear market. This is where I got in. From our top to our bottom and drag it all the way over to the top of the next cycle because we know how this works. It's a 4-year cycle. We're not stupid. We can count all the way to 4. All right. What did we do? 1.618. We didn't have that blow off top that we had the previous 3 times. So do we have a 1.618 this time? Or do we have a blow off top? Or do we have neither? Interesting questions, right? So try to do is chart this week by week, day by day, month by month, right? So we can kind of look back and see just before halving what happens. We had a bit of a retrace in 2020. You can blame that on a virus. We had a retrace right before halving again in 2016. No such virus existed. We had a retrace right before halving in 2012. No such virus existed. All right. So are we due a correction in here somewhere? Probably. Is it worth panicking over? Probably not. Why? As long as we stay over trend line, as long as we're trending up here, everything's fine. We can sit back in cruise control. But more so, let me show you. I've been planning from the top to the bottom again here, all the way out 4 years. I've been planning on taking profits at 1272, 1414, and 1618 up here, right? Been planning on that for a while. Why? Well, because I think the data shows, realistically speaking, that's a likely target, right? We've never not hit these targets. Fair to say? Fair to say. Never before have we touched or breached all-time high before halving, and we just did that a couple days ago. I think we can all agree that we touched all-time high or broke it, one of the two, right? Or if you want to say it was 0.01% under, I don't care. Not the point. Point is we've never done that before. The highest we've ever gone is roughly 786, and I'll show you that now. Right there, 786 before halving. Previous cycle before that. Roughly 786 before halving. You see that? Previous cycle before that. Roughly 786 before halving, not quite. More so golden pocket. All right. Here we are. Way above that. Are we incredibly above that? No, we're about 33% above that. Okay, cool. Now what? Well, I think we have to have some sort of breather in here, but it won't be very long. It'll be very short-lived if there even is one. All right. I think holding 50,000 makes the most sense. I don't think we go much farther than 50 if we go down. All right. If that happens, that sets up a scenario where we break all-time high before the end of this year. Cool, right? Also, that didn't happen last time. All right. It took all the way until, well, right at the very, very end of the year, it broke all time high, right at Christmas, right? But we have a way ahead point here that we may break all time high in the summer. We break all time high 6 months before we did it last time. Well, we could get up here to our fib extensions by the end of the year. We get to these fib extensions by the end of the year. We get up here to these levels by the end of the year and can maintain in here. Then we have a chance to do a blow off top. Before I say these numbers, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Don't be stupid. I just hit the wrong button. Don't be stupid. You shouldn't be thinking that this is definitely going to happen. I'm just giving you this data so you can keep it in the back of your mind for when the time comes, all right? I'm likely going to take profits up here at 175,000. I'll play it by the seat of the pants as we get up there, right? We're going to have to wait on this data to come in so we can get closer and closer. I think 175 is kind of a lock at this point. Don't think that these big numbers are going to happen. And I'll give you the math behind why we're saying what we're saying, but I want you to know, don't write this down as a surefire thing, all right? I give this maybe a 15% chance of happening. If I give it a 15% chance of happening, should you give it much more than that? Up to you to decide, okay? So if we have a blow off top and we do a 2 or a 2.72 retrace, like I've shown you the previous 2 cycles before our last one, that opens up $312,000 for Bitcoin or $470,000 for Bitcoin. I know. Let me give you the numbers on how much money that would be, okay? That's why I bring up that I don't think that's going to happen, but it's possible. For that number to happen in Bitcoin, $3 trillion in just Bitcoin at 1618, which is roughly $175,000, right? Did you hear me? $3 trillion at 175. If we blow off the top and go higher than that, that's $5 trillion or $8 trillion in just Bitcoin. That's insane. The whole crypto market hit $3 trillion last time. Dare I say, let's not erase that possibility from our minds. All right? I want to give you this data beforehand because it could happen. Don't think it's likely, but it's possible. Bear in mind, what would total market cap be if that happened? 7 to 8 trillion in just Bitcoin? What? About total cap. To the 1618, $7 trillion, which is about 2.3 times more than what we had last time, all right? We had about 3 trillion last time. 7.2 would be about 2.3, which is a multiple of Fibonacci numbers. 2.36 is a multiple of those numbers, the 236 line. All right, there's the same multiplication for an all-time high breakout. Hey, everybody, now you know how Fibonacci numbers work. So 7 trillion total makes sense. To blow off a top, 12 trillion to 18 trillion dollars. Listen, that's insane. That's insane. Don't think that Keith's telling you that's going to happen. Please be smarter than that. But just know, I give you these numbers because I want you to go do the math yourself and see if I'm full of crap or not. All right. Again, I'll probably start taking profits at the 1618 unless the charts say more up. If we have more time left in our cycle, because I think October, November, December next 2025, that's it. There's no more up. All right. We got to put a stop to it and hit the stop button. That's just how I see it. All right. Charts don't lie when it comes to that. The cycle is the cycle. The math is the math. Bitcoin halving, even with all the ETFs, only sped up about 4 days. All right. So the math is the math. It balances itself out. In all things in life, we need some balance. All right. If we hit a blow off top, I'm well going to surpass my levels. I planned for 1.618 for everything. As a matter of fact, I planned pessimistically for all of these coins to go way below that. I planned, and if you were in our Discord, you saw me say so, I planned for coins like ADA, AVAX, Litecoin, and all the rest to only go to 786. Bitcoin is already there. If it maintains anything above 50,000 here, which would be roughly 2.2 trillion in the market, if it can maintain 2.2 trillion for any sustained period of time here, we have a definite shot at it. I'm hopeful as you guys are, okay? I want that to happen just like y'all do. Please no, please no, please no. Don't plan for that. All right? I want you to have the data. You got it now. $300 million billion, right, bro? 1,000 million billion. You guys are awesome, dude. Oh, gosh, that's funny. I bet y'all would have to up your capital burn if it wasn't for what you teach. Not only TA, man, but mainly psychology. Yeah, bro, thank you. The psychology comes easy for me after failing. A lot of people didn't want to learn after they failed. They just gave up and left. And I think that's part of our society, honestly. You lose and you give up and you don't get back up. You don't know how to take a punch. Think about me. Think about my life. Think about my family's life. If you don't know how to take a punch, you ain't going to make it, homie. Simple as that. You don't come from where I'm from and not know how to take a punch. My nose is crooked. Like, look, y'all. I hit the wrong button. Sorry. Let it zoom in here. My nose is crooked, y'all. I done had my nose broke a couple times. You don't know how to take a punch, you ain't going to survive where I'm from, where we're from. All right? I've always, my whole life, lived as a servant, and I don't mean slave, and I don't mean indentured servant. We've served other people and served, whether that be a servant actually, a waitress, or whether that be a service technician like I used to be that fixed air conditioners. We served. This is a chance for me not to have to serve anymore, except for you guys, right? I'm serving charts up, right? Serve the education out to people. But this is a chance for me not to have to serve anymore. To be the first person in my entire family who didn't serve. And I don't mean military. I have a military tattoo on my back. Let's not say that, all right? Don't try me. I come from a military family. I don't want to hear it. You're barking up the wrong tree if that's the fight you want to have with me, all right? Not going to hear it. For you guys who know me or have seen me, you know I have a military tattoo on my back. I don't care. So we're not going to have that talk. I'm talking about busting your butt for nothing. Just to stay above water, right? I have that mentality that I'm not going to go back to that. That psychology reflects over into the charts. You're not going to take this from me. You're not going to take this from me. I'm not going to allow it. No. If I lose, I'm going to figure out what I did wrong, fix it, and do it better. We have to change our mentalities out here. You guys who are watching this are the literal tip of the spear. You're going to go out and tell everybody, hey, man, I watched this guy on YouTube and he's spitting fire. He's telling facts. And they're going to go, it doesn't matter. They're not going to listen. You're going to say it 5, 6 times, and they might one time check me out and go, that's boring. Bro, you're the tip of the spear. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Nothing you can do about it until you take your gains and you say, hey, bro, I quit my job. Wow, well, I made enough money I don't have to do it anymore. How'd you do that? Remember that stuff I was telling you about? Yeah, too bad I ain't telling you no more. You didn't listen the first 6 times. Walk away. Now let that person pick themselves up, dust themselves off, fix their collar, pop their shoulders and say, okay, now it's my turn to learn, right? I don't want you guys to have to go through that. So buckle up. This is going to be a wild ass year and a half. That's all I know what to say. It's going to be a wild year and a half. All right, let's catch a couple others real quick. I've talked a lot. I know I talked a lot. I'm sorry, but I thought it was important to convey some of these messages, okay? Ethereum, screaming high, golden pocket, blown through all the way to Sniper's Alley. What is Sniper's Alley? Sniper's Alley is Fibonacci numbers of 786 to 886. That's percent. 78.6% or 88.6%. And that's a retrace or move back in the other direction. Retrace, all right? Ever lose your car keys before and go, man, I guess I'll retrace my steps. That's the same thing charts do, okay? They retrace their steps. This is 78 to 88% of the entire bull market is back. 78 to 88% of the entire bull market for Ethereum is back. How does that sound to you? Sounds bullish, yeah? Exactly. Now, I'll say that this area, Sniper's Alley, is an area a lot of times that charts get cut down. This thing is running red hot right into Sniper's Alley. Nobody runs through Sniper's Alley without taking a punch or at least a shot. I think we're going to get stuck in here somewhere, and it's okay. If it gets stuck here, all this does is build pressure to move north over the summer and fall, okay? I want to see it myself. I have a feeling that I'm going to take some profits and stick them over in Ethereum just like I do AVAX and Solana. Those are my profit dumps. We'll talk about that on the Zoom after this, but I think the future's super bright for Ethereum. What are those blow off top numbers for Ethereum? Want to get crazy? 10,000 is only the 1414. 1618 is $14,000 per Ethereum token. When did you think that you'd be able to say that? I remember when Ethereum was $130 and we were talking about, I don't know if I want to pay $130. I'll go buy XRP. Slap myself in the head for that stupid crap. But we all learn and we all take those punches in the face so we don't get hit no more. Okay. That's why we take them. We have to feel pain in order to understand what the pleasure feels like. So that's just the 1618 numbers, not the blow off top. Blow off top, $42,000 to $43,000 per Ethereum. When did you think that you'd be able to say that? Does that sound outrageous? I think it sounds outrageous. Don't we have an Ethereum market cap? I think we do. Yeah, that would be, oh boy, $1.73 trillion in just Ethereum at 1618. $5.4 trillion at 2.272. You can hear how astronomically stupid those numbers sound. I'm with you. Okay? I'm with you. Just keep it in the back of your head that it's a possibility. I had a couple requests for CRV. This is one of the worst looking charts for a high cap that there is. Here you go. So CRV currently, line that up just a touch right there. I'm using the previous high in 2023 as an anchor point moving forward. Looks like these fibs are going to end off in summer, so I think this summer push is going to be about it for CRV, and it probably tails off. This is one that I'm not sure if it actually breaks all-time high or not because it's such an underperformer. It's barely around the 236, and we got charts way up here, all right? So, again, I think this is kind of an underperformer now, and I've shifted my movements from putting a lot of money in this one to only putting a little bit of money in it because it's an underperformer. I would like to have my money in the higher performers because the gains are exponentially higher. That's also a mistake I made last time. Not going to make that same mistake again. All right. So we're hitting some moving averages right now on the weekly. The 100 is the blue line. The yellow is the 50 moving average. It's weekly charts. So 50 week, 100 week, stuck in between them. And that's okay. It's probably going to get lodged in between here and 75 to 76 cents. And think about it before it makes the move up. If it doesn't want to do that and it wants to break clean through it, I'm cool with that. And let me give an example of some that have done that. Here is sand. Sand is doing the same thing as CRV, only it didn't break through, did it? Stuck in the mud, hasn't quite got there. What looks similar to these? Mana. Mana, the central land, has broken through the 100 now, tested the backside of it, tested the fib line below that, and started its move towards 382. This looks like this is going to get up to 87 cents or so here. Now, there's stuff in the way, I'll give you that, but this also 200 weekly moving average is up here. We've already seen a couple assets hit that. Let me show you a couple assets that have done that. Here's H-bar. H-bar is already trying to push through the 200 weekly moving average. I took some profits out of H-bar. Why did I do so? Well, I didn't plan on putting as much in H-bar as I did. The chart went up. I had a chance to get some profits, some of my initial money back, and that's what I did. I took my initial money and I moved it over into Quant. Quant then went up. I took that same initial money out of Quant and I put it over in Solana. Solana is now my profit dump. Why is Solana my profit dump? Come, I'll show you. So here's Solana. Solana is all the way up here in Bitcoin territory. Look at this. It's all the way up in Sniper's Alley with Bitcoin and Ethereum. There are only a few that are up here like this, all right? So, knowing that it was at Sniper's Alley and it may get cut down, the retrace was minimal here. Every retrace, like I mentioned when I talked about the beginning of the stream, every retrace here is a chance for me to buy more. So I said, I'll just take some money and throw it over into Solana as a place to hold my profits. It can do whatever it wants. I'm probably going to DCA it constantly with profits. I'll keep throwing profits over there every time I take a little bit, whether it's 1% of this one or 4% of that one, whatever. Take a little money, throw it over there. It's already up. All right, cool. I think Solana breaks all-time high. And since I think it breaks all-time high, here are the levels that make sense to me. 661, 1,000, and 2,000 plus. That's just the 1272, 1414, and 1618. I've shown you multiple examples of this happening. Now, what if we blow the top off? Here we go again. $21,000 for a Solana coin seems insane. So I don't think that's going to happen, right? But if it did, that's a 20x from here. A 20x from here. That was places where I'm just throwing profits over to sit there. This is how I say things could get crazy and things could get wild, and I could go way over my goal if we get that blow off top. I planned not for that. I planned for way underperforming market. And I did that to be pessimistic, to set a realistic goal for myself. I'd rather undershoot and be wrong than overshoot and be wrong, because then all you guys are going to come after me, and I'll have more of these things. I have more of these headers on the live streams of people talking crap to me, right? Or at least they think they are. You know, most people who talk crap to me are playing checkers and I'm playing chess. And you're getting lucky. Sometimes you get a double jump. I get it, but it's cool. Come on into my defense and I'll eventually get your crowns, right? So AVAX, similar. Down here at Golden Pocket, all the green lines that you see are my buy lines. It's just me taking profits and throwing them over there in AVAX, leaving it sitting. It broke out of this wedge, which is tough to see, but I'll zoom in here for you so you can see. This is weekly charts. It appears they're broken out of this wedge. It's got good buy pressure. Again, this is kind of something I just want to leave alone. Throw some profits in here if I need this money and I find something that I really, really, really like. I can take some of these profits and go buy something else with it. Okay? And some of you guys I know are taking puts in AVAX and going and buying AVAX shitcoins. That's fine. You can do your thing. Not my thing. All right? I don't prefer doing that. I prefer to play it way safer. That's just me. Please do you, and don't let me affect your decisions on what you do or don't want to do. All right? We've talked about a lot of charts, haven't we? Man, let me tell you what. A live stream goes by pretty fast when you go off on rants. So I'm sorry I went off on rants. I don't like doing that. Tonight was the State of the Union, so I got in here just before that. I did watch that. I am a proud American, and whether I like who's on there or I don't like who's on there, I'm going to watch. So that's about the only one I watch. I'm hopeful and optimistic for the future for the next 2 years. We'll see after that. I'm not exactly certain about the upper levels. I can say what I think is and isn't a lock, but I can't find the extremes just yet. And I think you guys want a lot of the extremes answered. It's not necessary. We don't need to know the extremes at this point. All we really need to know is we have uptrends, and every retrace here that stays above those uptrends are buying opportunities. So thank you all for coming. 100 people were on this live stream. I think we peaked out at 99, which is pretty cool. Didn't hit 100, but that's all right. We had 94 people on right now. Thank all 94 of you people on. Dude, it's midnight. You're hanging out with some idiot in South Carolina. That's incredibly badass of you. Thank you. I'll see you all on the next live stream. And we got to Zoom after this for all the subs, all right? Big shout outs to every single one of you. You could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. I appreciate that more than you can understand. Make the best of your todays the worst of your tomorrows. And if no one else told you they love you, Keith loves you, and that's real talk, all right? Thank y'all. I'll see y'all on the next live stream. Sky's the limit. Peace.